Hello everyone, welcome back to Exam Key Point Dentistry. So today we are going to study a very important orthodontic topic, methods of the gaining space. Now think for a second, what happened when teeth do not have enough space? Yes, it was crowding, malalignment and irregular teeth. So the big question is, how do orthodontists create space? So let's understand this step by step in an easiest way possible. So first, let's see the list. What are the methods of the gaining space? So it includes proximal stripping, expansion, extraction, distalization of the molar, uprighting of the molar, derotation of the posterior teeth, and then last one is proclination of the anterior. So which method do you think is used most commonly? So we will reach here soon. So first one is proximal stripping. So definition is, it means it is a method by which the proximal surface of the teeth are sliced in order to reduce the mesodistal width of the teeth. So simple meaning is we make teeth slightly thinner, that is more space is created. So you can see a strip is being done in between the teeth, reducing the mesodistal width of the central incisor. So not done in young patient. Okay, so it is contraindicated in young patient as they possess large pulp chamber, which increasing the risk of pulp exposure. So why is proximal stripping risky in children? Because there will be the large pulp chamber. Okay. Now the second one is expansion. So it is used when maxillary arch is narrow or crossbite is present. Okay. So it is usually undertaken in patient having the constricted maxillary arch or in patient with an unilateral or the bilateral crossbite. So you can see the diagram, that is a before, that is a narrow arch, it was before, a narrow palate which is reducing the space for the eruption of the adult teeth. Then after the image you see this is in wider arch. Okay. So it is done by the help of the rapid maxillary expansion, or you can say the slow maxillary expansion. Now we will see the difference between the slow maxillary expansion and the rapid maxillary expansion. So slow expansion, it is done in early age, that is a primary or the early mixed dentition. Okay. And where the rapid maxillary expansion, it was done in late mixed or the permanent dentition, where you can see this was the first permanent molar hair is coming. So here it is done in late mixed and permanent dentition. Now in slow maxillary dentition, the expansion here is 0.5 to 1 mm, that is per week. Okay. And in rapid maxillary expansion, you see the here the expansion will be seen 0.5 to 1 mm, that is 1 millimeter per day. Okay. So here the time in slow expansion, that is a 2 to 5 months taken, whereas in rapid maxillary expansion the time is 1 to 2 weeks. Force here is 2 to 4 pounds in slow expansion, whereas in force in rapid maxillary expansion it taken the 10 to 20 pounds force applied. Okay. So which one is faster? That is a rapid maxillary expansion. So here you see the some changes, that is a skeleton and the dental changes. You will see 1 ratio here 2, while in rapid maxillary expansion the skeleton plus dental changes you see 1 ratio 1. So what are the appliances we use in slow expansion? So the appliance we use is quad helix, jack screw, coffin spring and 19 expander. While in rapid maxillary expansion the appliances are of the two type, that is a fixed tooth and the tooth and the tissue. So in fixed tooth we use the appliance Hyrax and the Saxon, and in tooth and tissue we use the Hess and the Dirichlet. Okay. So you see this is an image of the expansion. So this one is quad helix. So this one is quad helix and this one is jack screw, where it expansion in this direction, and this is a here, this is you see the Hyrax in rapid maxillary expansion and the Hess. So this all image show the appliance of the slow expansion and the rapid maxillary expansion. Now the next is the extraction. So here what are the types in extraction? So it includes the serial extraction, most common extraction, balancing extraction, compensating extraction and the Wilkinson extraction. Okay. So we will see one by one. So first one is serial extraction. So it is very important for the exam. So it is an intercepted. It is usually initiated in the early mixed dentition. Okay. So history is it is introduced by the Casal grain. Father is the Nance and Holt's called a procedure that is an active supervision of the teeth by the extraction. Now we will see the indication. So it is done in class 1 skeletal pattern, lower anterior flaring of the teeth, that is a lower anterior flaring, and the third one is localized gingival recession in the lower anterior region is a characteristic features of the arch length deficiency. Okay. Next one is that is unilateral and bilateral premature loss of the deciduous canine plus the midline shift, where we will do the serial extraction, and in severe space discrepancy, which is the more than 5 mm, ankylosis of the one or the more teeth, and here the arch length deficiency is comparator to the tooth merge. So you see this is an image where you see this is an arch length deficiency. So we will do here is extraction. Okay. So can we do serial extraction in spaces cases? No, we do not do serial extraction where space is there. Okay. Now we will see contraindication. So contraindication, we will not do serial extraction in class 2nd and class 3rd skeletal pattern in spacing, in edentia and the olignantia, that is an absence of the tooth. So there you see this is an absence of the tooth. We do not need, so we do not do here is serial extraction in open bite and the deep bite cases, and in midline diastema. So there is midline diastema. So here we do not do any serial extraction. Okay. So what is a procedure? So we will see one by one procedures. So there are the 3 procedures, that is a dual method, twin method and the Nance method. So first one is dual method. So in dual method is in the first step the deciduous canine are extracted to create space horizontal the alignment of the incisors. Okay. So first here is we will removing the deciduous canine, then align the incisor. This step is carried out at 8 to 9 years of age. Okay. Now a year later, the deciduous first molar are extracted so that the eruption of the first premolar is accelerated. So now we are removing the deciduous first molar, which is speed the premolar eruption. Okay. This is followed by the extraction of the erupting first premolar to permit the permanent canine to erupt in their place. Okay. So now we will removing the first premolar, then allow the canines to erupt. Okay. So here is the diagram you will see. CD4. Okay. CD4. You will remember this one, CD4. So the C means the first we have to removing the deciduous canine, that then we'll do the aligned incisor. Then after removing the deciduous canine, then we go for removing the deciduous first molar, which will be speed, which will causing the speed premolar eruption. So that this one is premolar, which is going to erupt. Now the third one we have to removing the first premolar. So this one we removing the first premolar, we going to remove, then allow canines to erupt, and then finally it will allow canines to erupt. So this you have to remember the CD4. So C means the deciduous canine, D means the first deciduous molar, and the 4 means first premolar. Okay. So method is a Dewey method and the Nance method. So this method involves the extraction of the deciduous first molar around the 8 years of age. So first remove the deciduous molar. Okay. So this one removing the first deciduous molar. Now this is followed by the extraction of the first premolar and the deciduous canine simultaneously. So then removing the premolar, this premolar. After removing the first molar, we removing the premolar when it is coming. Then we will removing the canine. That's one canine. Okay. So D4C. So D means first premolar. So D means first molar will remove. 4 means first premolar, and then C means canine will be extracted. Okay. So you just remember D4C. Okay. Now the most common extraction. So most common extraction, this is an important concept. So first premolar, because it is between the anterior and the posterior. So we will removing the first premolar in most common extraction. Now next one is balance extraction. So it refers to if there is removal of the teeth from one side of the dental arch, then in order to balance the removal of the another tooth on the opposite side of the dental arch. Okay. So this, suppose this tooth has to be extracted. So we will have to removing this one on the another on the same arch to maintain the midline. So it is in order to maintain the midline of the arch. Okay. Now the next extraction is compensated extraction. So here the removing the tooth in the opposite arch. Now we will see the distalization of the molar. So here the moving the molar backward to gain the space. Okay. So what are the indications? So indication, you see, if there is missing second molar, so we do distalization of the first molar. So wedged space in the anterior region. So indication is missing the second molar. So we use distalization of the molar. Okay. If there is missing second molar. Now the next one is non-extraction class second. So in class second cases, we do distalization of the molar in low average mandibular plane angle and in mild arch length discrepancy. Okay, there will be mild crowding, then we can do distalization of the molar. Okay. Now contraindication, so where we do not use the distalization of molar in high mandibular plane angle, in open bite, in overjoint which is more than 5 mm, severe arch length discrepancy, which means severe crowding. Okay, we do not do distalization of the molar in class second skeletal pattern and in class third skeletal pattern, where we will avoiding the distalization of the molar. Now what are the disadvantages? So it is increasing the overjet, proclivity incisors and high relapse tendency. So now we will see the appliance where we will using for distalization of the molar. So first one is pendulum appliance. So here you will see this one is Nance palette, Nance button. Okay, and this was this TMA wire. So here the force is 200 to 250 gram. Okay, so a large Nance palatal button in an acrylic plate. It consists of a stainless steel or a TMA wire with a helix, and the activation by the 90-degree force applies 200 to 250 gram. Okay, so this is show the Nance. This is show the pallet button with the spring. So this is a pendulum appliance. Now the second one is distal jet. Okay, so here it is a palatal appliance. It consists of a bilateral piston with a tube arrangement. So this was in bilateral piston with a tube arrangement with a tube embedded in the modified Nance palatal button. So this was a modified Nance palatal button. A nickel titanium open coil spring and an activation collar are placed around the each tube. Okay, so here the tube plus piston system. So tube plus piston system and the nitrile coil spring. Okay, so this is a distal jet. Now the third one is Jones jet. So this was, it plays on the buccal aspect of the maxillary molar. So this one is Jones pick. Now the next one is lip bumper. So if it is present in maxilla, then it is called the Denholz appliance. So this was his maxilla lip bumper. Now the next one is headgear implant and magnet. Magnet can also be used to distalize the molar. So which appliance work from the palate side? That is a distal jet. Okay. Now next we see the derotation of the posterior teeth. So here the rotated posterior teeth occupying the more space than the normal placed posterior teeth. So you can see this is the rotated premolar. Okay, so it will occupy the more space. So derotation of these teeth hence provides some amount of arch length. Okay, so rotated teeth take more space. So correcting the rotation, we can space gain. So now we will see next one is uprighting of the molar. So here a mesially tipped molar occupying more space than the upright molar. So thus by uprighting these tipped molars, certain amount of space can be recovered and molars can be uprighting using the molar uprighting spring or some from the space regainer. Okay. So this is a mesially tilted molar where it occupying the more space. So which occupying more space, tilted or the upright molar? It was this tilted molar. Okay. Okay, so guys, today we learned different ways to create space in orthodontic. So key idea is space can be gained by reducing the tooth size, increasing the arch size, removing the teeth or moving the teeth strategically. So if you found this helpful, like, share and subscribe to Exam Keeper Dentistry. See you in the next video.